Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today as we dive deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting and numismatics, a journey where tiny details can mean the difference between a coin that is worth just 1 cent and a coin that has been valued at millions. And in this episode we will be exploring the incredible story of the 1984 1 cent coin, a coin that on the surface looks just like any other penny you might have in your pocket or find on the ground, yet due to its astonishing errors and rare mistakes it has gained a reputation among collectors of being worth as much as $41 million, and what makes this story even more captivating is that these errors and variations are not always obvious to the untrained eye, which means that many people may have overlooked this coin without realizing they held a piece of numismatic treasure. So let us unravel the mystery together and understand why this coin, struck at the Denver Mint in 1984, has managed to capture the imagination of coin hunters, collectors, and investors alike, and why a small copper-coated zinc coin from the early 1980s can fetch such astronomical prices when it comes with the right set of circumstances and mistakes, because the world of minting is complex and prone to occasional mishaps. And when those mishaps slip through the rigid quality control system of the United States Mint, they can create coins that are unique, coins that become legends, and coins that elevate ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. So to begin, we must look at the background of the 1984 penny, a coin that was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, designed originally by Victor David Brenner in 1909 and modified to display the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse starting in 1959. By 1984, the composition of the cent had changed only a couple of years earlier in 1982 when the mint moved from primarily copper cents to copper-plated zinc cents due to rising copper prices, so the 1984 cent is mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, and this change itself opened up new possibilities for striking errors because zinc reacts differently during minting than solid copper, and plating issues could create problems like blisters, bubbles, peeling, and weak details, and it is precisely in these inconsistencies that some of the most valuable examples of the 1984 1 cent can be found. For instance, one of the most well-known errors tied to this year is the double die obverse, where Abraham Lincoln's portrait or lettering appears to have been struck twice slightly offset, creating a shadow-like doubling effect that collectors obsess over, and while double dies are fairly well known in the hobby, the 1984 double die varieties are extremely scarce and command staggering premiums, because doubling on key areas such as Lincoln's ear, the word liberty, or the date can make a coin instantly distinguishable from ordinary pennies, and when these coins are authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, their rarity is confirmed and their value skyrockets, and then there are dramatic misstrikes where the coin was not aligned properly during striking, resulting in off-center strikes, partial designs, missing elements, or even multiple strikes where the coin was struck more than once without being properly ejected from the press. And these unusual appearances make the coin a one-of-a-kind specimen, because no two misstrikes are identical, adding to their collectible appeal. Another rare error involves clip planchets, where part of the metal blank used to make the coin is missing due to a cutting issue, producing a coin that looks like a small chunk has been bitten off, and when you combine such an error with the 1984 year and mint mark, it becomes even more remarkable. Then there are transitional errors linked to the composition change earlier in the decade, and some collectors speculate that a few 1984 pennies may have been struck on leftover copper planchets from the pre-1982 era, and if authenticated, such coins would be among the rarest of the rare, because they would combine both the wrong composition and the Denver Mint mark, making them numismatic anomalies. And this possibility has driven many collectors to weigh their 1984 cents carefully to determine whether they fall within the 3.11 gram range of copper cents instead of the standard 2.5 grams of zinc cents, and even coins that appear normal but have unusual toning, striking weakness, or die cracks can attract collectors, because they show the imperfections of the minting process and embody the uniqueness that transforms ordinary coins into prized treasures. And when you consider the sheer number of 1984 pennies minted, hundreds of millions, it may seem shocking that any could achieve million-dollar valuations. Yet it is precisely the rarity of the error varieties combined with high demand from elite collectors that pushes their market value into the stratosphere. And among the most talked about examples are those sold at major auctions where wealthy bidders compete fiercely to own these pieces of minting history, driving prices far beyond what most people would expect for a penny. And imagine the thrill of discovering such a coin in a coin roll, a family collection, or even as pocket change, because for some lucky individuals that small discovery could mean holding a fortune in the palm of their hand, and that is the allure of the 1984 1 cent. Because the stories surrounding it encourage people to search, to learn, and to dream of the possibility that treasure might be hiding in plain sight, and while the majority of 1984 D cents are common and circulate with almost no premium, the rare and error-laden ones form a tier of legendary status, their stories passed among collectors like myths. And it is the combination of documented errors like the double die obverse, off-center strikes, die cracks, planchet anomalies, and speculation of transitional pieces that elevate this coin to the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. So when people talk about the 1984 D 1 cent being worth $41 million, they are often referring to the peak potential of the rarest varieties in pristine condition, coins that are essentially one of a kind and cannot be replaced. Coins that wealthy collectors will pay astronomical sums for because they represent history, rarity, and exclusivity, and while some may dismiss these valuations as exaggerations, the truth is that the coin market has repeatedly proven that rarity combined with demand can create shocking results, and the 1984 D cent stands as one of those fascinating cases. So as you continue your own journey in coin collecting, always remember to examine every detail of your coins, from the weight and composition to the smallest doubling or crack in the design, because you never know when you might stumble upon a coin that changes your life, and that is why the story of the 1984 D penny remains not just about money, but about the adventure, the discovery, and the joy of uncovering something extraordinary hidden in the most ordinary places. And with that, we invite you to stay tuned for more stories of incredible coins, their mistakes, and the fortunes they can bring. And if you enjoyed this exploration of the 1984 D 1 cent and its multi-million-dollar secrets, be sure to join us again as we continue uncovering the hidden wealth of the numismatic world. So, thank you for being here with us today, and let's keep the adventure alive together. Next, we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unbelievable stories that turn the smallest pieces of change into fortunes beyond imagination. And in this journey, we are going to explore the incredible story of the 2013 D 1 cent coin, a penny that on the surface looks like any ordinary copper-plated zinc cent you might find rolling at the bottom of a drawer, hidden in a piggy bank, or passed to you in change from a store, but in reality it has been rumored and valued at an astonishing $6 million because of its rare errors, unusual mistakes, and the mysteries of minting anomalies that have fascinated collectors, historians, and treasure hunters for years. And what makes this coin so valuable is not just its face value or the year it was minted, but the combination of tiny imperfections and striking errors that transform it from a common everyday coin into an object of desire, a collector's dream, and a multi-million-dollar artifact. And to understand this journey, we have to go back and look at the details of the 2013 D penny, the way it was struck at the Denver Mint, the minting process, and how small mistakes, variations, and anomalies can drastically change the value of something as humble as a cent. And as we explore this, we'll see why collectors around the world seek out such coins and how one particular 2013 D cent has been associated with a valuation as high as $6 million, a staggering number for a coin that most people would never think twice about spending on a piece of candy or tossing into a fountain for good luck. But in the world of numismatics, the small details make all the difference. And when we talk about errors, we mean everything from doubled dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, missing letters, misaligned dies, planchet errors, die cracks, repunched mint marks, to extraordinary mint mistakes that may happen once in millions of strikes. And each type of error adds a layer of uniqueness to a coin, making it stand apart from the billions of ordinary coins struck each year. And in the case of the 2013 D 1 cent, the Denver Mint produced millions upon millions of these coins, but among them a few came out with incredible minting errors that would later make their way into the hands of collectors who realized just how rare and valuable they truly were. And when we think about the possibilities of what could make a coin reach $6 million in value, we have to consider extreme rarity combined with impeccable demand. So imagine a 2013 D cent with a dramatic off-center strike where perhaps half of Lincoln's portrait is missing, leaving a crescent-shaped blank area on the coin, or maybe a coin where the die was cracked during the minting process, leaving raised jagged lines across the surface like lightning bolts, or a dramatic double die error where Lincoln's profile appears doubled, giving the coin a ghostly or three-dimensional appearance. And when such coins surface, collectors know they are holding something extraordinary. But what pushes the value to the heights of $6 million is when the error is so rare, so unusual, and so perfectly preserved that no other example exists, creating a one-of-a-kind piece that becomes the holy grail of modern penny collecting. And the 2013 D penny is already part of the Lincoln Cent series, a design that has captivated collectors for decades since its introduction in 1909, and in 2013 we were still in the era of the Union Shield reverse design, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial design in 2010. and on these coins the obverse still carried the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse displayed a shield representing the Union. But errors in this design sometimes lead to missing parts of the shield, doubled lettering in the motto, or dramatic die breaks that split through the design. And in some cases the mint mark D itself is struck in unusual ways, either repunched, misplaced, or doubled, and such varieties add even more intrigue. So in the case of the $6 million 2013 D cent, the combination of errors and the rarity of its condition have been rumored to create a coin that stands out from all others, and collectors love to speculate about such finds, creating a mythology around certain coins that only fuels their desirability and market price. And if you imagine finding such a penny in your pocket, it is a reminder of how overlooked treasures often hide in plain sight, and the possibilities that exist when billions of coins are struck each year mean that accidents are bound to happen, but only a handful of those accidents result in coins so spectacular that they end up in the category of million-dollar rarities. And when collectors describe the 2013 D penny as potentially worth $6 million, they point to several key types of errors: doubled dies on the date or inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty, Extreme." Off-center strikes where half of the design is missing, broad strikes without a collar that create oversized pennies, die caps that leave ghost impressions on multiple coins, and wrong planchet strikes where the penny might have been accidentally struck on a dime or nickel planchet, instantly making it a one-of-a-kind minting mistake. And such errors, especially when verified by grading authorities and preserved in high mint state conditions, are the golden ticket in coin collecting, and that is why the 2013 D penny with its bizarre and rare errors can command values of millions, because collectors will pay almost any price for a piece of history that cannot be duplicated. And when you think of how this changes perspectives, it becomes clear why everyday people start searching through their change jars, coin rolls from the bank, or even vending machine returns, hoping to stumble upon one of these life-changing coins. And the beauty of it all is that such discoveries do happen. Stories exist of individuals finding rare double dies, misstrikes, or transitional error coins right in circulation, coins later sold for hundreds of thousands or millions at auctions, and the 2013 D cent continues to be part of that dream for treasure hunters everywhere, because the idea that a single penny could be worth $6 million is not just a fantasy, it is grounded in the reality of minting history, collector demand, and the undeniable appeal of owning something so rare. And the fascination grows when we dive deeper into the culture of numismatics, where collectors document every possible variety, catalog errors, assign rarity scales, and chase down legends of coins rumored to exist. And that pursuit adds to the aura of coins like the 2013 D penny, giving them a mythical status, and this mythical quality further drives their value higher, because the story behind the coin becomes as valuable as the coin itself. And when a coin like this enters an auction house, the anticipation, bidding wars, and headlines only magnify its allure, sometimes even setting record prices that push it into the realm of multi-million-dollar treasures. And what makes it even more exciting is that the 2013 D cent is a modern coin, still relatively new, which means the possibility that one could still be out there in circulation is real, unlike ancient rarities locked away in collections. So for anyone watching this, the idea that you could be holding onto a penny worth $6 million is both thrilling and inspiring. And as we continue this discussion, remember that coins like these embody more than just monetary value. They carry stories of the minting process, human error, history, and the thrill of discovery. And that is why the 2013 D1 cent with its unique mistakes is celebrated as one of the modern marvels of coin collecting, standing as a testament to how something small, simple, and overlooked can capture the imagination of the world and be valued at a staggering $6 million. So always pay attention to your change, look closely at the details, because the next multi-million-dollar penny might be waiting right in your hands. And with that, we invite you to keep exploring the fascinating stories of coins with us, because every coin has a story, and some stories, like that of the 2013 D penny, are worth millions. So stay curious, keep searching, and if you enjoyed this journey through the world of rare errors and valuable cents, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing discoveries and unbelievable stories from the world of coins. Last, we dive into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of rare coins and hidden treasures, a story that takes us into the heart of modern American coinage, uncovering how a simple, ordinary-looking penny minted in 2018 at the Denver Mint, known as the 2018 D1 cent coin, has gained an incredible reputation and an astonishing rumored value of up to $4 million, all because of its rare errors, striking mistakes, and unique anomalies that have set it apart from the millions of other coins minted that same year. and as we go through this story together we are going to explore not only what makes this particular coin so remarkable but also how such small, almost invisible details can dramatically increase the value of a piece of metal that most people would simply pass by without a second glance. So welcome to this deep dive into coin history, minting processes, and the incredible world of numismatics where patience, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck can transform pocket change into life-changing fortunes. And what makes the 2018 D penny so engaging is that it is a modern coin, a recent piece of money that you or I could have received in change from a grocery store or found rattling around in a drawer at home. Yet because of the way minting errors occur and how collectors chase rarity, it has managed to climb into the realm of extreme desirability, with collectors willing to pay unimaginable sums for pristine examples of error coins. From this series, and this is where the true magic of numismatics lies, because unlike antiques that require centuries of survival or ancient artifacts dug out of the ground, coins like the 2018 D penny are produced in vast quantities in our own time, with billions struck by highly advanced minting machinery. Yet even in such controlled environments, errors happen, mistakes slip through, and anomalies emerge, creating small miracles for collectors who understand the value of scarcity. And in the case of the 2018 D 1-cent coin, those miracles include a variety of errors such as double die obverse errors where the lettering on Liberty or In God We Trust appears doubled, giving the coin an unusual shadowed look that draws the attention of even the most casual observer once it is pointed out, as well as off-center strikes where the design is not properly aligned and a portion of the coin is blank while another part is squeezed into the rim, making it obvious that this penny is unlike the rest. And there are even examples of broad strike errors where the collar that normally holds the coin tight during the striking process failed, allowing the design to spread wider than usual and creating an abnormal shape that screams rarity. And then there are repunched mint marks where the small d for Denver, which identifies where the coin was minted, was struck more than once, leaving traces of doubling or shadows around the letter, adding yet another layer of uniqueness. And perhaps most interesting are those rare transitional errors where planchets, the blank discs of metal used to strike coins, may have been mixed with leftovers from a different composition, producing a coin that weighs slightly more or less than normal and sparking intense interest from collectors who know that even a fraction of a gram difference can be the key to identifying a multimillion-dollar treasure. And when all of these possibilities are considered, it becomes clear how the 2018 D penny, an object worth just 1 cent by face value, has the potential to command up to $4 million in the numismatic market, because when collectors are competing for the rarest example of a coin, prices can skyrocket beyond belief. And this is not just a story about money, but also about history, precision, and human error. For the United States Mint operates with some of the most advanced machinery in the world, yet even here perfection is impossible, and it is precisely that imperfection that fuels the fire of collectors' passion. And think about it, billions of 2018 D pennies exist, but only a handful carry these striking errors, making them like needles in a haystack, hidden treasures waiting to be discovered by those with the sharp eyes to see what others overlook. And as we explore further, imagine the possibilities. Someone out there might unknowingly be holding a fortune in their change jar, or a coin sitting in a forgotten piggy bank might turn out to be one of the rarest finds in modern history. And when we talk about the kinds of errors that make these coins valuable, it's not just about the obvious mistakes like off-centering or doubling, but also micro-level details such as die cracks, tiny raised lines caused by worn-out dies, or cuds, which are missing parts of the design caused by broken die pieces, both of which attract collectors who love the character they give to a coin. And with 2018 D pennies, reports have circulated of remarkable die breaks around the date, creating raised blobs of metal that distort the appearance and immediately mark the coin as special, while others show machine doubling, where the metal shifts slightly during striking, producing an eerie ghost-like doubling effect on the text or design. And each of these anomalies creates a story, a narrative of the minting process gone wrong, of a machine under pressure, of a die that struck one coin too many, and all of this is preserved in the final product that ends up in circulation, only to later be recognized as a priceless rarity. And for collectors, part of the allure is also the mystery, because not every error is fully explained, and sometimes a coin surfaces with such an unusual look that it sparks debate and fascination within the numismatic community, adding to the aura of exclusivity and intrigue. And this is how myths are built around certain coins, myths that inflate their value and capture the imagination of those who dream of stumbling across such a treasure. And if we think about the psychology behind it, humans have always been drawn to rarity, whether in gemstones, art, or collectibles, and coins are no different. And the 2018 D penny embodies this principle perfectly, being at once common and uncommon, ordinary in appearance yet extraordinary in specific examples, and when collectors come across a coin with multiple layered errors, like a doubled die combined with an off-center strike, the value compounds exponentially, and this explains how the rumored $4 million valuation becomes plausible in the niche world of rare coin auctions where wealthy collectors compete for bragging rights and ownership of unique pieces, and beyond the errors themselves, the condition of the coin plays a massive role, because a coin with visible wear may still be interesting, but a coin in mint state, shining as if it just left the minting press, will attract far higher bids, and this is where grading agencies come in, professional services that examine a coin under magnification, assign it a grade, and certify its authenticity, which can make the difference between a coin being worth a few $100s or several million, and so in the case of the 2018 D penny, if a collector discovers a rare error in pristine condition, slabbed and certified at the highest levels, the market can explode, producing jaw-dropping figures that make headlines and inspire more people to start checking their own change, and in that way, coins like this become not just collectibles but cultural phenomena, sparking interest in history, minting technology, and even personal finance, because they remind us that value is not always obvious, that sometimes what looks worthless can be priceless, and so as we follow the story of the 2018 D penny we also see how it fits into a broader pattern, where coins like the 1955 double die penny or the 1943 copper cent have captured imaginations and fetched record-breaking prices, each time reinforcing the idea that hidden treasures can be lurking in the most ordinary places, and today, with the 2018 D penny, we see the continuation of that legacy, a modern version of a timeless mystery, proving that even in our age of machines and mass production, imperfection still creates beauty and rarity, and when those imperfections slip through the cracks they become opportunities for collectors and dreamers alike, and perhaps that is the ultimate lesson of this story, that 1 cent can indeed be worth millions if it carries with it the marks of history, chance, and human error, and as you reflect on this, think about how many coins pass through your hands each year, and how many of them you've looked at closely, because the next time you catch a glimpse of a 2018 D penny, it might be worth checking every detail, every letter, every shine of the surface, for who knows, you might just be holding a piece of numismatic history worth more than a mansion, more than a luxury car, more than a lifetime of ordinary pennies combined, and that is the wonder of the coin collecting world, where patience, luck, and knowledge intersect to turn the smallest coin into the biggest story. And with that we wrap up this deep exploration of the 2018 D 1 cent coin and its incredible journey from pocket change to a rumored $4 million treasure, reminding us that the next great discovery might just be waiting in the palm of your hand. So keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember that the world of coins is full of mysteries yet to be uncovered. Thank you for joining us today on this numismatic adventure, and if you enjoyed learning about the secrets and possibilities hidden in everyday change, be sure to stay connected for more fascinating stories that reveal the extraordinary in the ordinary, and as always we look forward to sharing more with you in the future.